And our next, and let me ask Ed if he will step in as the clerk on this next hearing, which is 029-18 McGordy, 18 Cypress Street in Falmouth. It's a special permit to raise and reconstruct an existing non-conforming single-family dwelling.
And who's the designated person?
Let's make it, Jerry's been away, let's give Jerry a shot.
Okay, being all persons deemed affected by the Board of Appeals under Section 11, Chapter 40A, the Massachusetts General Laws, you are hereby notified that Brian Moore McGurdy, trustee of Braintree, Massachusetts, applied to the Zoning Board of Appeals for a special permit pursuant to Section 240-3C of the Code of Falmouth to raise and reconstruct pre-existing non-conforming single-family dwelling on subject property known as 18 Cypress Street, T-Ticket, Mass.
Okay, and is there someone here representing?
Referrals and
Ah,
correspondence.
yes, referrals. Sorry.
Engineering, application, public, like the same standard list. Water department property is property has existing 1-inch service off a 6-inch main. Sewer, no health issues. Board of Health. And there's one letter of comments and concerns.
And the property is sewered.
Again?
Property's on the sewer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, my name's Brian McGurdy. I'm the owner of 18 Cypress Street, and I've submitted the plans. I'm looking to raise and reconstruct my house with an 8-foot addition to the right-hand side of the house, increasing the house to a 4-bedroom. And I think I meet all the lot coverage requirements.
You
Well-
have a,
Not the lot coverage requirements, Brian. You're reducing your non-conforming lot coverage, yes. And he's bringing it to
here's
under
the-
the 25%. where
so
it's
there's
over.
a site, there is a site plan that shows. So your existing structures, you're covering 26.1%. You proposed you're gonna go to 23.5 according to the plan.
Correct.
And existing impervious 27.1 drops to 24.5. The nonconformities are with respect to setback, is that correct?
The lot size as well, I believe.
Like
Yes, it's substandard
4,800
size.
square feet, yeah.
And front and side property line.
And how are those changing?
The existing foundation's going to remain, so those aren't changing.
Okay.
The right side, which I'm increasing, I meet the side setbacks on the right side of the property.
Okay. So nothing gets more non-conforming and lot coverage gets slightly better.
And he's eliminating one non-conforming setback. The 8.8 on the easterly side is becoming 10 feet. Correct? 12.5, excuse me. He's removing a deck that was 8.8.
Ah, there was a deck there, okay,
And it's now 12.5.
okay. Everyone have an understanding of that? Does anyone have questions for the applicant?
No, looks like a nice building, a nice reconstruction.
Anything, TJ?
Would you say that the proposed plans would enhance the utilization of your property for you? And just for the record, you are removing that shed in the back right corner?
Correct.
Great. It's the existing foundation to remain, so your setbacks will be the same, except for that right side, which you explained that the deck is removing, but even with the proposed addition, you're still gonna be 12.5? So
I
that's,
believe that's, I don't have the plan in front of me, but
okay. And it also looks like for your front setback, you're good at 16.2, but there's even, the way the road layout is, you have even more room to work with, so everything looks good? Thank you.
His setback is 11.4
Right.
from the front.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong corner
Right. That's,
there. But he's still all right.
right. And it's a 1.5 story going to 2 stories at 25-foot height.
Okay, Ed, anything?
No, I have no questions.
Paul?
No. No
Robert?
no questions.
Okay, and it just, you gave us a list of lot coverage and bulk calculations, and it looks like under, as you modify this, you're going to,
There's 15, oh no, there's like 20-some that are higher than,
yeah. I'm a little confused though, because the lot coverage proposed by structures on the plan is 23.5, and in this list it shows 22.
Could be the
But I think
shed.
even at 23.5, it doesn't change the rank.
It's still
no.
under.
So there's plenty of properties that have bigger lot coverage in the area. Okay, so if there's no further questions from the board, let's see if anyone in the public wants to comment on this. Okay? State your name, please, for the record.
My name is Trent Sandlin. I live at 191 Mira Vista Ave. I'm one of the trustees of the property just across the street from where Brian and Laura McCurdy's home is. My family's big concern is, historically, the last few years, the McCurdys, mainly Brian and his siblings, have used our property for their parking. If they increase their house for the number of bedrooms, potentially they're going to have more guests. They're going to try to keep pushing into our property, and we want to know how they're going to be handling the parking in their house.
Okay, so let's
We
find out.
had to pave the road, and we thought that might limit the amount of illegal parking on our side of the road, but a company truck owned by Brian McCurdy has been historically, since we paved the road, parking on the side of the street, blocking what they took us to litigation for a fire lane.
Okay, well, we don't want to get into your
Well,
the private
Yeah.
issues you have, but what is a fair question is how will they handle parking
Yes.
on the site, and how many bedrooms are there going to be compared to what's current? So
Yeah.
let's find the answer out to that.
Thank you.
In the file, I asked Mr. McGordy to stake his property and take it 40 feet, which is the road layout, to show where the Sandlin's property is in relation to the road layout. So that's in the file, and there's also a letter in the file from Mr. McGordy in response to Mr. Sandlin's letter about the parking, so he can go through that as it is.
Okay,
So the
why
house
don't
is
you
gonna go-
address,
The house is gonna go from a 3-bedroom to a 4-bedroom. We still have the same number of kids in our family, we have 3 children. So we're not increasing who lives in the home. The guests aren't gonna change because we have an extra bedroom. It's gonna be the same guests we've always had. And in my opinion, we've always parked lawfully. I've never been ticketed. I've never been told about parking illegally. So I think the parking's
so
better than
how many cars can you accommodate on your property?
I can fit 2 on the property.
And how many cars do you actually have?
We have 3. My daughter drives. But on every street off of Mara Vista, we're allowed to park on the roadway, which we do. And like I said, I've never been ticketed or spoken to about illegally parking on the street. And now the road's 20 feet wide, where last year at certain points it was 10 or 11 feet wide. So the road's become bigger than it was last year.
And the road layout itself is
40 feet according to the
40
town.
feet. And is that a private way?
No.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. According to our town records, which I submitted, it was town accepted, all the way from Great Bay to Little Bay. That's in the file. You want to read that, Ed?
Great, Great Bay Street to Little Bay Street, developed in the 1949, 600 feet. It says Eli side, 600 feet.
Easterly side, 600.
But this is from the town records, right?
Yes,
Yes.
it shows 1,530 feet. Town accepted, right? Developed and town accepted. It's that, it's just that one. Developed,
Yeah.
town meeting vote, accepted 1949.
49, right.
Yeah, easterly
So
side.
it's been an
600.
accepted town way since 1949?
Well, it shows that it's 1,530 feet long, and
Yeah.
it says developed town meeting accepted 1949, easterly side 600.
How far is the property
So-
from, maybe it's beyond that?
It's questionable, it depends on your guys' deeds.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
Easterly is
usually
what
it
side,
should be
that's
on a
right, we
deed.
didn't see that easterly.
Do you know what your deed says?
Not off the top of
I'm
my head,
sorry,
no.
through you.
For what it's worth, it is a land court,
Certificate.
So,
so it's been decided by the court exactly what his boundaries are.
okay,
Which,
but that's, anyway, it's a civil
It's a
matter
40
between,
It's a 40-foot right away, right?
No, but, so it makes a difference to our decision, right? If it's a public way, he is entitled to park.
well, even if it's
If
a
it's-
private way,
he hasn't.
Both parties own to the middle of the
If it's a private way,
road.
if it's on his side, he's
Right.
entitled to park. He's not
Right.
entitled to park on the other side.
correct. So the
So
deed
just so
should show
you're
it.
aware of that,
I mean,
because it's, you know, by your
So
own
which is
testimony, you
easterly?
don't have adequate parking on the
Easterly
site
would
for the
be-
number of vehicles you have.
Yeah, it's all
Would
three
be
people
clear
at the same
base,
time,
huh?
So
Right.
it's just the 600 feet. Yeah, it is private right there. Because what's in parentheses, we didn't see earlier, 600 feet.
What are we talking about?
But what does land court say, TJ?
About,
This area, this, is it a private?
is Cypress Street private? I thought we just said that it was public.
Well, it says 600 feet easterly, so that would mean,
Only 600 feet?
it's a little confusing the way it's written.
because it mentions both
It mentions
water
both.
bodies, but it
I
only
think
counts.
so, yeah, if you would like to come forward and give us your knowledge about the specifics.
But again, it is civil matter.
My family's been spending the last couple of years trying to subdivide my lots on my side of the street. We're all land court, it's a private street, both sides of the street own to the center of the street.
Okay,
As a land court street, you cannot take over and use the other person's property in any way, shape, or form.
right.
We've repeatedly asked our neighbors, please not dump, please not park, blah, blah, blah. So it's definitely a private street. The other side of Cypress Street heading to Great Bay is a town road.
The other side of Memphis.
In
The other side of Merivale.
1975, I believe it was, the selectmen thought about making it a town road, they didn't.
Okay,
Well, I've spent a lot of time on that road, and it certainly doesn't look like a town road.
all right.
No.
So
Your
that's where
side.
the,
And
that's where the
We
600
We've paved
feet.
what the town has asked us to do so far,
Right.
and it's gonna continue on from there, but that's all in the works. The winter slowed everything down.
So that's what that 1,500, the whole road is 1,530, but only 600.
Only the easterly on the other side of
600.
Maravista
Yes.
as it goes into Great
Right.
Bay.
Thank
And
you.
Last summer, there was probably 40 cars parked in our side, and at least 4 were owned by Brian and his family.
Okay, well,
Well, that's a civil matter, you call the police department.
Well, that's,
it would be
Yeah,
nice
no.
if you could
It
resolve
would
it
be
without
nice to
calling
be
the
good
police
neighbors,
department.
is what
Exactly.
we'd like
So
to
we don't
see.
need to get into
Yeah.
that tonight
Yeah.
here, 'cause-
but we would like
but I
their parking to be addressed.
understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
Thank
Well,
you.
it goes without saying they park on their side.
I mean, it
That
is,
goes without
it
saying.
is,
That's what it should be.
All right, but that's something that Brian, his family is listening to now, so.
right, and so, you know, a couple of remedies, I don't know, maybe the driveway could be extended at car length. You know,
All of those are like that, that's a pretty small lot.
Yeah. Or, I guess you're entitled, since it's private, you are own part of the layout there, you could make a designated parking area for that third car. I think that would be,
Right in front, yeah.
that right in front, and that, welcome to come forward, one or the other. Just state your name, please.
Good evening. I'm Lois D'Amelio, and I live at 24 Cypress Street. And one of the issues that I would like to present to the board is that all of those lots on Cypress Street are non-conforming. They are extremely small. The houses were built, most of those houses have 4 bedrooms. Which was fine when they were built because people only had 1 car. In today's world, we have 2, 3, and 4 cars in a family. So there is parking on the street. There just has to be. There is no room anyplace else. I just wanted to make that statement.
Right, but it is.
Thank you.
Obviously, you know, when we consider these permits, we need to think about, is there room to support what's gonna go on the property? So as long as we create adequate parking on the street in a way that doesn't impinge on the neighbors, that's fine.
Thank you.
It's like what we were trying to prove with the accessory apartment bylaw. Just thought I'd throw that in. Okay.
Okay, so, I think we've got that covered reasonably well. Mr. McGordy, do you have any further comments you want to make? Or?
I had a question on the plan.
Yeah.
You're removing an existing shed and you're building another one?
No, just removing the existing.
Oh, you can move,
There's 2 existing sheds now.
Yeah.
One of them's going to be removed.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and it looks, actually, I have one more question for you, sorry. So it looks like when you add this proposed foundation addition, you're gonna cut in a little bit to what is your existing dirt drive there. Is that correct?
Yes, a little bit, yep.
Is that gonna reduce even further your parking?
I'll still be able to get to and with the road work that's going on now. A large oak tree that's on the left of the existing driveway can be removed. So there'll still be room to fit 2 vehicles on the property.
Okay. And then are you amenable to just adding a little gravelled area in the front where it would be clear that someone could park?
The asphalt comes up just about 2 feet off the existing white fence I have in front of the house. So there's ample room to park in front of the house as well. On the
They just
asphalt.
paved in
It's
front.
paved.
Just
Half.
Right, but it doesn't fill because it doesn't fill the layout, does it? The pavement?
No, the pavement stops midway through my home. It doesn't go all the way down the street, it stops directly in front of my house.
I think the picture's in there, so.
They paved closer to his property than they did the Sandlands property.
Uh-huh.
So that's what he's saying, they can't put a gravel
There is
drive
no-
down. But there is asphalt there and
The
part of
asphalt's already
his
there.
property.
Right, but you don't want to block the traveled way, right?
It's 20 feet wide.
It's a private way, though. He has a right.
I
He
guess
could put a
he
septic
owns-
tank in there if he wanted.
Yeah, that's a good point. You own,
Sorry.
well, you own 10 feet of it anyway.
He owns 20 feet.
Um,
I have one more question.
Yeah,
Brian, on your side door and your rear door, is that a step down to grade? There's a little bit of a step and then it goes to grade? Is that, when you look at the elevation?
Yeah, right now, the existing building's in, now you step onto that deck, but that deck will be removed. But the new side door would have to have,
A landing?
yes.
So is that going to be wood? Because it doesn't show and that would be considered part,
I think it's gonna be stone.
okay. All right, that way it doesn't count in the lot coverage.
Right.
I was wondering if that's what made up the difference between the 22 and the 23 point. Okay. That's it, thank you.
okay.
Okay.
All right, I think we got it covered. Board heard enough?
Excuse me, I'm so
Make a
sorry.
motion to close.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and what's the pleasure of the board?
I'll move to approve application 29-18.
I'll second.
Second.
Okay, and findings?
Findings, okay, here we go. Proposed, it's the existing foundation is to remain. Now, how do I word this?
I'm sorry.
The existing foundation is to remain, although they are
With addition of 8 feet?
with the addition to the side, but then they work with that, with removing the existing deck to, is that a nonconformity on that side? But then they'll
Yes,
become, they'll be
To
become.
make it conforming,
To make it conforming,
right.
if
with
I'm making
respect to
sense.
the side yard setback
Oh, well, then with the
on
left side setback, it'll be remaining
On
at,
the
what is it, 8.8?
the east side.
East side, but on the west it'll be
8.8.
to
8.8.
remain.
Total lot coverage is reduced.
Total lot coverage is reduced. For structures, it's 26.1, going down to 23.5. Impervious is 27.1, going down to 24.5. That's also because of removing the back right shed, but the back shed on the left will be remaining.
West.
West, thank you. I lost my plans. I've been working off my
There we go.
phone tonight, so there we go. Off the west side, thank you. That shed will be remaining. The shed on the east will be removed. Thank you, Ken.
Going from 1.5 story to 2 story?
1.5 story to 2 story, and I think that
On the sewer,
on the sewer, going from 3 beds to 4, but they're on the sewer, so that's by right. I think that's important. The proposed additions enhance the utilization of the property for the property owner. 240-216. I don't really want to get into parking.
well, I
but
think we
that-
should get into parking. I think we should say that by testimony, there's.
Be careful with it, because it's mostly a private party civil matter. but
Well, but
I'll hear you out.
parking needs to be on the north side of the street, confined a property owned by or controlled by the,
So testimony regarding parking, board recommends parking
first of all, the
to
testimony
remain
was
on
that
north side.
the family has 3 cars and they only have room for 2 in the driveway.
Right.
And so the third car would need to park in
On the northern side.
On
the
north
northern
side,
side of the street on property controlled and owned by the,
off private way.
right.
But I want to jump in on this too. You guys, I want to jump in on the parking thing too. I don't know the bylaw in terms of new construction, but I'm assuming a new single-family home probably has to have 2 off-street parking spaces. I'm assuming, under our
Yes, but
bylaw.
we try to get that in
Yeah.
some of these smaller lots,
So,
you can't.
so I mean, you know, if a brand-new single-family home has to have 2 off-street parking spaces, why would we hold this applicant to a different standard based on, you know, how many people are in his family? Or you should see my house. I mean, there are cars all over my street. My kids Be have careful cars, with I have TVs. cars. Now, I'm not before this
But you
board.
don't park on your neighbor's yard.
No, but I probably, I mean, I may park on his
We're talking
his
about
side of the
road
street
layout.
sometimes. Yeah, I'm on a private way as well.
Right, I just think we need to
but-
be clear about.
I know, but I don't think, the standard for a single-family home is probably 2 off-street parking spaces. That's, you know, so that's the modern standard that we have. He has 2 off-street parking spaces, and I don't think we should be forcing him into creating additional parking for, you know, I mean, the people are gonna park where they wanna park.
But they just
Paul,
did,
when you have a non-conforming lot.
Yeah, but I'm not buying that.
We're.
I don't buy it.
it. Our mission is to be sensitive to the concerns of abutters.
So that's why the board's recommending that
Agreed.
they park their vehicles on
All right, I
their
don't
side of
agree
the
with that.
private.
I don't think
You
we should be
shouldn't
regulating his parking.
concerned about the?
What's that?
You don't think we should be concerned about the rights of the abutters?
Not on a private way, But they're parking on their own property. not on a private way.
That's all we're saying.
Yeah, Well, but we're not gonna be able to control whether they do or they
No.
don't, and who's gonna enforce it? Rod's gonna go out there and,
No,
what,
police-
fine them?
Just
When, Sunday?
Acknowledging the concerns of the
Yeah,
abutters.
it's, I
Well,
just
can
think we should
acknowledge
stay away
the
from it.
concerns.
Again, it's a finding and not a
Yeah,
condition.
all right. I just think,
as another alternative, since they are removing the existing deck, it looks like you might be able to fit a
You
third
could-
car.
you
So
could
it'll be
extend the
free in one
driveway.
You could extend it, I know that creates issues of
But,
yeah,
juggling what cars where, but that's just another option.
like, I think it should
Excuse me,
be-
I'd like to ask that the public,
I think it should be just the finding that the board recommends they park on their side of the
Yeah.
private way. And I think you
I
should
don't know
leave it
why
at
we
that.
recommend it, why we don't condition it.
Because why should you? It's not, it's off the property,
It's on
it's
their
not
property,
and it's a
enforceable either.
private way.
and we can't enforce it.
I don't see how it can be a condition.
Okay.
I don't either.
That's,
So just the board recommendation that they park on their side of the right-of-way,
Yeah, period.
I think.
Or-
okay.
not on that property, because remember, it's a 40-foot layout,
Yes.
and there's a fine line of what they think their property line is because it's not marked. So
I like,
let's not get into the civil part of it, because
I
it's
like
not our
parking their
jurisdiction.
property rather than not on someone else's property.
Yeah.
Because it gets to be, you know,
You know, when we look at home-based service businesses, when we look at all these, you know, we are always concerned about is there adequate parking?
All right, want to go to conditions?
Per plan?
do we
Yeah,
have to
per
say,
plan.
they have to be connected to the sewer, is that,
Per
They-
plan,
that's-
Testimony was they already are, right?
no, they are going to be, going to be, will be. I
So
think they have to, I don't know.
So
if
with
it's
the new
condition-
construction,
Yeah,
Okay.
so that'll be covered by new permits.
And so you have language that you've.
I do, I put
developed.
no occupancy of fourth bedroom until hooked up to town sewer, if that's okay.
mhm.
Mhm.
And just the removal of the shed on the easterly
Easterly
side?
side.
Easterly.
Easterly side.
I got it right.
Okay,
That's good.
everyone happy?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, I'm in favor. Passes unanimously.
Take it very much.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so our final public hearing of the evening is 030-18, Sheehan, 151 Edgewater Drive East in East Falmouth, special permit to construct an addition, creating a bathroom and to increase the size of the kitchen.
Being all persons deemed affected by the Board of Appeals under Section 11 of Chapter 48 of the Massachusetts General Laws, you are hereby notified that Jerome Sheehan of East Falmouth, Massachusetts, applied to the Zoning Board of Appeals for a special permit pursuant to Section 240-3C of the Code of Falmouth to construct an addition creating a new bathroom and increasing existing kitchen area within the pre-existing non-conforming single-family dwelling on subject property known as 151 Edgewater Drive East, East Falmouth, Massachusetts. For referrals, engineering had its standard comment with the note that the project must not direct any stormwater runoff to public property, abutters, or rights of way. We recommend adding dry wells, rain garden, or other stormwater measure. Assessors had no comment. Water, property has existing water service and request does not
Impact.
I was gonna say interrupt, but I knew that wasn't it. Impact water department operation. Planning had no comment. This is a no sewer location. Thank you, Amy Lowell from wastewater superintendent. Fire department, no comment, and there were 2 letters of support.
Good evening. My name's John Doyle, and I'm here to speak for Jerome Sheehan and Karen. And as Jerome, that was here. Can I submit another letter in favor to you?
Sure.
To Kimberly, John.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, the property is located at 151 Edgewater Drive East off the Seacoast Boulevard there. The road runs along the water. This house was built in 1956. They have an association with this house since 1965, his family. The zoning in this district is RC. The lots are small here. Obviously, at some point, this dwelling does not meet the setbacks that are required under the zoning bylaw currently. Specifically, I have an extra site plan if anybody needs one. Would that
No,
help?
they've all got theirs.
On Sachem Drive, this is a corner lot, on the Sachem Drive side of the lot, or the south side, the deck does not meet the setbacks that are required under the street setbacks. And on the east, on the Edgewater Drive side, the street setbacks are at 16 to the entry platform and 21 to the corner of the actual dwelling, which is, as you know, is beneath the 25 that is required. So, 240-3C, we're here, this is a pre-existing non-conforming use. We want to change, alter, extend this use, so we're before you. The lot only has about 8792 square feet. There are 2 bedrooms in the existing house. The reason for the addition is to make the kitchen larger and to make another bathroom. A bathroom is large enough for a tub. The existing bathroom only has a shower stall. Doc's wife needs a tub. That's one of the biggest reasons for enlarging the bathroom or creating another one, both actually. The setbacks to the addition meet the sideline setback. It's about 407 square foot addition. We're putting in, if you're looking at the addition and you see a dimension where it meets the existing house of 7.8, right now there's an exit door there where the 7.8 is, and there's an entry platform there about 5 by 4.9 or something like that. We're removing that obviously, so we go minus a little bit before we go plus, and with the 407 net, we end up at going from 14% to 18, a little more than 18% lot coverage, so we're still under the 20% allowed of lot coverage. The parking, paving, and structures category, we're not even close to the 40%. With the changes in the additions, we're up at 20.5%. So, as part of the addition, we're putting that new entry platform in front because the door will now move to the east side instead of where I indicated where the 7.8 is. That platform will be at the same as the existing entry platform to the southern along that front wall of the existing house. We'll end up with 2 entry platforms, and I think they're going to pretty them up by the center of the platforms, put a little roof over them that sheds north and south. So they'll be matching, and they will both be back at the setback, the existing setback. So there will not be any more non-conformance with respect to setback to Edgewater Drive East. There'll be no changes to on setbacks on Sachem Drive on the south side. The Board of Health required that we draw on a future septic system. The existing cesspool is working fine, but just so that it's there if we need it in the future to design a new system. It would not be for the 2 bedrooms, but it would be for 3, which is required under the minimum mass code. You can see those drawn on the new future tank and future SAS and future reserve. That's pretty much it, although I think that because of the scale of this thing being so low in terms of keeping the same lines of the house, it fits in there with meeting the setbacks. It's not a big jump in lot coverage. I don't think it's going to be derogatory to the neighborhood. I think that this is, represents what they need for utility for the house. A larger kitchen, a bigger second bathroom to fit a couch in, and I don't think it's, I think also along the front of the house, it'd pretty it up a little bit to have the two entry platforms matching with a little roof over them. I'm here to answer any questions if I can, if you have them, and Jerome, of course, is here as well.
Okay, let's see if there are any. Robert?
No questions.
No questions.
None.
Kim, you must have a question.
I have to, right? I have to find one. So 2 bedrooms remaining, 2 bedrooms?
Yes,
Okay. And the height will match the existing
yeah.
height? And what is that?
I don't know what that is. If we have to scale, I could probably tell you from those elevations.
It says 16 feet,
Okay.
10 inches.
They're pretty low.
And then just under the new addition, it's just a crawl space?
Yes.
Okay. That's all I have.
Just to clarify your earlier statement again about the cesspool and the septic, there is no septic being proposed, but that was just to show the accommodations if you did need upgrade?
Yeah, when we go in there, they make us do that. you
Okay.
know.
You have to show reserve area in the event of failure.
Got it. Thank you.
Jerry?
No question.
I actually don't have any questions either.
I have, just based on the referral, is there any intention to put in a dry well? Or?
Yeah, I had it here. I read that because they emailed it to me, and there is an intention to put, I indicated that to him in the hall tonight, so it's new to him, but we'll put some dry wells on those downspouts, but also we are cutting that driveway back because, maybe another 13 feet of that driveway goes under what is the proposed addition. But he drives a Prius and she drives a little, I forget what you call those trucks, but they fit side by side. So.
Oh.
How many cars can you
No,
park?
I knew that was.
Behave yourself.
And we are, we're willing to fight with the neighbors, push them cars over their property.
So what was were you proposing a dry well, John? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we thought that we should indicate that as part of the project, we should, in response to the engineering letter, that we should connect these downspouts on this end where that driveway is to a dry well.
So put in a dry well at downspouts.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Does that do it for board questions? Anyone in the public want to comment?
Sounds like a good plan to me.
Okay,
Okay.
if there's no public comment,
I will move that we close.
Second.
okay, that's perfect.
Okay.
Kim and Ed, all in favor?
Aye.
And I. Okay. And
I will move that we approve application number 3018.
I'll second.
Any findings?
Sure. Findings, I will say it's,
Can I stop you for 1 second?
Well, we closed.
All right. I just want to make sure that we're right on that question about the crawl space.
No. Warrant 18.
They want a full cellar. So I should correct that.
so I'll ask you one targeted question, which I think we're permitted to do, right?
Okay.
I guess that's
Which
right.
will that be finished habitable space?
No.
Okay. I think that's all we need on that, right? Okay, so findings, that there's an 8-foot basement, under
The addition.
the addition, but that will not be habitable space. That it's 16 feet 10 inches, and the addition will match that ridge height. Well, lot coverage requirements, increase utilization for property owners, 2 bedrooms remaining 2 bedrooms,
No increase in setback nonconformity.
right, and
Testimony.
yes, testimony that there will be, and testimony that there is an intention to install a dry well at the downspout.
Very good, thank you.
Conditions per plans, and I had another one which was as-built plan.
Because of the 10-foot setback?
Well, because of the 10-foot setback on the side, because of the 16-foot setback on the front.
Okay,
I thought it made sense on this one.
so as built submitted before final sign off.
And no increase in the number of bedrooms?
Correct, 2 to 2. That's per
Is that one
plan,
that we
right?
usually do?
Well, you need to because this is a cesspool,
Mhm.
so if it goes to 3 bedrooms, it's required as a septic system because there's an increase in a bedroom, so 2 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms only. On site, okay.
Is this in the floodplain?
No.
Okay.
What?
Question, if it was in the floodplain, they couldn't have a basement.
Zone X.
Yeah. Okay, anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay.
All right, are we ready to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And,
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. So that completes our agenda for tonight, actually, because we did the open meeting
Oh, you did? Well, I wasn't
while
here.
you weren't here.
But we did have a question of the
About the
policies.
rules. I know. I have to do them. I know.
If you have a draft, I can do it.
I don't have a draft yet.
You forced to re-retire.
I've been very busy at work the past couple of weeks.
That's what I told him.
As I haven't been here, so, but I will do them. It's on my to-do list. I'll put it on my work to-do list.
I'll put it on the agenda for next week.
Great.
Oh. Is this pro bono work?
Okay, so if there's no further business, meeting adjourned.